Good morning, everybody. I'm John Jerkowitz. Thanks for spending part of your day with us wherever you may be. Those of you who follow me faithfully and loyally know that, well, when I get ready to do a scheduled hangout on air, I'm always excited. This morning, I'm really excited, okay? Because I've got a really special guest with me today, Ms. Faith Barnard. And you guys also know that I don't normally take notes, okay? I'm that good. This person has such a wealth of experience and a wealth of knowledge in so many different areas. I actually had to write some stuff down, okay? That could also be senior moment. And Faith sitting over there turning 15 shades of red, but that's okay. So Faith, welcome. Okay.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much for having me.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Wow. You got to remember, I'm a Gemini, and Gemini have a lot of different interests. So actually, if I go way back, my original passion was photography. Actually, painting. I was an artist and then a photographer. And then as I got into college, I got into filmmaking. I love making films, but I did art films. So cinema verite, I did art kinds of films because I wasn't trying to make a living at it, right? I just did it for the love of it. And then when I moved from the Midwest, from Illinois to Seattle, I grew actually born in New York, grew up in the Midwest and ended up on the West Coast in Seattle, Washington. And at that point in time, I was able to secure a job at the local television stations. When you first start you start as a grip. You go out on with the other photographers and reporters, and you carry all this equipment. And I would carry 100 pounds of equipment sometimes, running around after football players on a football field, all kinds of fun experiences. And so I was really doing a lot in film, a lot in video production. I became a producer. And then I've always been entrepreneurial. Even as a child, I made jewelry and sold it in grade school. So I guess I've just got that entrepreneurial bug in my DNA. And as life would have it, in my early 30s, I got very, very ill. I found out through a wonderful woman, a nutritionist who I was led to, who was an angel in my life, that I was on the verge of liver failure. I was really, really scared. I knew I was really, really sick. And it turned out that I had heavy metal poisoning, which is very commonplace. I don't know if you're aware of this, but when they test baby's blood daily with the cord blood, there's 300 plus toxic chemicals in the blood of babies today, which is not a good thing because of what we've done to our planet. And so for me, I was like the canary in the mine shaft. And it took me on a spiritual, physical transformation journey. I worked with this nutritionist, Rena Davis. We rebuilt my digestive system. I did my spiritual work, personal development, EFT, rapid eye therapy. I was doing all kinds of innovative therapies, working with opening up the lymphatics and cleansing out the toxins and feeding the body. And so that put me on the health path. So one of my passions is definitely health. I mean, obviously it goes without saying, without it, you really don't have the vibrancy that you deserve in your life. So I love entrepreneurship. I love, obviously, maintaining and growing my own health, growing in consciousness. I'm really passionate about spiritual expansion and consciousness and why are we here, and who are we? The bigger picture stuff. And I believe that can all be integrated in our lives in a very real way. So those are, obviously you can see why I have so many interests.
For sure.
I'm just that kind of person. I'm just happy that the right people came into my life at the right times, people that helped me save my own life, people that taught me, people that inspired me. And really the other thing I love is coaching and mentoring others to take their lives, to live their bigger lives. I really believe none of us want to die with the music still in us. And I know our soul has a purpose when we come into this physical plane, and that we are here to do great work, whether that's being a really great parent, whether that's starting a philanthropic endeavor, contributing back to your community, doing something that just gives you absolute joy and you can't wait to wake up in the morning. That's what I'm about, and that's what I want to help support others with.
Good. If you go to your website, it says you're a holistic entrepreneur. And you and I were kind of talking about this in the green room before we went live, but what does that mean to you? What's a holistic entrepreneur?
Well, you know how so oftentimes we're taught to segregate our lives. You know, I have my job over here. I have my spiritual life over here. I have my friends and recreational life here. I have my family over here. And really, we're an integrated whole. And I don't think it's just because of the way we've been conditioned in society that we end up, you know, carving out these different areas of our life, but they oftentimes don't synergize in a way that really fulfills the soul and the person's purpose for being here. And so for me, when I thought about my branding online, I thought, what's important to me? And it was that holistic approach to life. In fact, John, I know your coaching involves that. You know, I think all good coaches really help their clients bring their lives into balance. Because I think we have this fallacy that, well, if I'm going to be successful in business, I have to sacrifice my family, or if I'm going to be, or my spiritual life, or my fun and my play. And what if your work can also be your play, but you can also take time off? So the holistic thing is the integration of love in your life, of work, vision, mission, play, all that integrated into one whole.
Have to share a little story with you. I was at a networking event yesterday, a live networking event, and it was one of those where you sit at a table with 5 other people for about 10 minutes and you do your elevator pitch. And I know they have value and everything else, and I don't like to be negative, but the interesting thing is that when they came to me, I did something I'd never done before, and I asked the other 4 people to close their eyes, and I asked them to imagine if there was continuity in their life, that there was no separation between what they did within their career and what they did away from their career, that there was just continuity and clarity to what they were doing. And then I asked them to look at and imagine what that would look like when they were able to do that, okay? And I have to tell you, I live in Western Kentucky, and it's the Bible Belt, and we don't talk about meditation. We talk about creative visualization here, okay? Because otherwise people start erecting a pyre and get the fire ready and everything else. But it was interesting when I was done, and I just did that with one group of people, but 3 or 4 people came up to me afterwards and said, can we arrange some time to sit down and talk? And as you were bringing that to our audience here, that went through my mind, and that really seems to be an important theme today. I see, this is a very unscientific trend, okay? This is kind of just, I guess, my opinion, but I've seen in the last 3 to 5 years a tremendous influx in female coaches, female entrepreneurs, and obviously you're a female, and you do
last time I checked.
Yeah. Could you talk a little bit about that whole genre and where those things are going, and some of the challenges females face today in the entrepreneurial world?
Oh, that's an excellent question, John. Well, first of all, I believe, and again, maybe depending on the audience that's watching this, but I believe that the perfect human being is one that has a balanced male and female component. That all men have a feminine side and a masculine. All women have a masculine and feminine. When they're in harmony and when they're working synergistically, you really have a fully, what we call, actualized human being. But unfortunately, our society has been very patriarchal. It's been very much might is right. war solves problems. All of that, and we know that's not working. We're seeing the breakdown in our environmental systems. We're seeing the breakdown in why are so many millions of people starving to death on the planet. I think Marianne Williamson said that in one of her recent interviews I heard her on, that women as mothers and as nurturers really cannot be right in their hearts with saying that it's okay to live in a world where millions of children starve to death. And so that was where I really believe the divine feminine, or that feminine energy, if you will, is coming to the forefront. Years ago, I heard a Hopi elder speak, and he said that there was a time when the woman walked behind the man. And now we're in the time that the man and woman are walking side by side, but soon the woman will be stepping out in front. And it's not a better than, but it's like we need to learn more from that feminine energy. We need to emulate it more, both in men and women, and structure, create a blossom of society through that. There's so many challenges women face in the entrepreneurial world, but I will say that as entrepreneurs, women have a better chance to hit the higher brackets than they do in the corporate structure, statistically. I know in my profession as a network marketing professional, that the majority of women it's women that thrive in our business model. And there's more, I forget what the percentage was, like 80% of the women who earn 6 and 7 figures earn it inside our business model. And that's a pretty big percentage. I forget where it comes from, the Direct Sellers Association, but there are a lot of challenges. And if someone's working inside the corporate structure, which I think of more as the fixed pyramid, it's a little bit more challenging because people aren't incentivized to edify and elevate and to help others as much because they feel like there's not enough room, quote, at the top. And we have to get away from that top-down mentality. That's also part of an old patriarchal perspective of control or dominance. And women, again, because of our nurturing natures, being mothers and educators and just community contributors, we offer so much. And I think the biggest thing women can do is not isolate themselves. They need to join communities where we're in communication on a regular basis, that we're edifying and elevating and supporting each other, that we're collaborators, that we collaborate, because we're moving from the model. We had the industrial age and we're in the information age, but we're moving into the collaborative age. And the collaborative age says that there is no top bottom, that we're all working in synergy. And we're all working, maybe we're doing different projects, but there's some way that it can dovetail, and what I'm doing can help you and what you're doing can help me. And that together, we always say the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Well, it's true. And we're going to start seeing that more and more. I mean, look at all the things that are happening on the internet. I think the internet is one of the great equalizers. And if we can protect it from government controls and from the corporatocracy, I think we'll be doing really good. But women, we're really going to show the way. But women can't try to just emulate the male model to be successful in the business world. They must find their own truth and find their own authenticity and express from that place and be from that place. And when they are, the men will celebrate because they're also enslaved to that old paradigm that is breaking down. We can see it. Those systems are breaking down. But there are certain people in powers of control that don't want to release that quite yet, but that will happen. It's destined to happen. And women are going to lead the way. But I think the challenge a lot of women face is obviously they're oftentimes have families. So they have children, they have activities, they've got family things. They have usually very little time for themselves to nurture themselves, right? They're nurturing everybody else. They're working sometimes really long hours. I just talked to a woman that works from 7 to 9 at night. Well, how do you have any kind of life with that? And trying to see your way through that, where you're doing that because you're trying to keep a roof over your head, but you want to have a different life. And so how do you transition from that all-consuming sort of enslaved to the job to a more liberated life. So I think, again, it's collaborating, reaching out, asking for help, joining communities. If you can't do something, find someone else that maybe can support you in that area. I think those are going to be the big things for today's women to really take their lives to the next level.
I'm just sitting here thinking I could have you on about 6 or 7 more hangouts with everything you just said. Okay. Let me key in on one area. And you talked about authenticity. Okay. And I'm going to just give you quickly my view, and then you can respond to it. That I think today, I agree with you that we've gone from the industrial age to the information age. I think this is a renaissance. I really do. If you're a student of history and you go back to what we called the Renaissance prior to the end of the Middle Ages, I feel that's happening with the whole explosion of the internet and just the opportunity it has. Within that comes the desire for authenticity, in my opinion, is that transcends gender. And that I think the people who are going to ultimately be successful in this platform are the people who are going to move into the collaborative area regardless of gender. So I guess I'd like your take on that.
John, the last little bit got a little garbled, so you want to just repeat that last little piece so I'll make sure I heard all of it?
Okay, what I said is that I believe the people who are truly collaborative and truly authentic, regardless of gender, are the people who are going to thrive within this new era.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. And this is a celebration for both men and women. We just delineate between the two different, quote, energies more than actually the actual sex itself. Absolutely. This is the most exciting time to be alive. I feel very grateful that I was born during this time. I feel like maybe I did something. I was blessed. We have great challenges, but with great challenges come great opportunities. And do you see the things that are happening with children coming up with solutions for cleaning up the ocean and identifying cancer in early stages, and just all these different innovations, sometimes happening with kids in their teens and early 20s. I mean, it is exciting. The collaborative model is perfect because the internet is all about collaboration. Even if you go to hip hop, not that I'm a big hip hop fan, but they've done studies where they've shown how the evolution of dance occurs because one dancer does a video, right, of himself doing some moves or her moves, and then she shares it with the community, and then someone else comes in with another video with another set of moves. That's happening in the areas of science and art and obviously culture as overall, any discipline. Information is getting shared at lightning speed, but it's not just information for information's sake. It's information that's coming from a wiser, more insightful place. So I think one thing that people pick up right away, and going back to your transparency question, because it's a really important one, I think a lot of times when people first get on the internet, they're trying to do what they think is the right thing to do. Someone told me I should do X, Y, Z. The truth is, learn what you can from that. There'll probably be some value there for sure. But at the end of the day, you have to look at what are your true principles, what's really important to you. It's okay. I laugh a lot. Some people don't like it, but I do. That's who I am. I laugh. It's just my nature, right? It's who I am. If I tried to be all stiff and, something that someone told me I should be doing, I would not communicate effectively on the internet. I know people that come from traditional advertising where they're used to doing slick, polished, rehearsed, teleprompter type videos, and they try to really interface with social media, which is really just like real life, except online. And they put these slick videos out there and no one responds to them. It's just another commercial. It's just another, infomercial on television. No one cares. It's like people are yawning. They could care less. They would rather have someone trip up. Gary Vaynerchuk really started a trend with this when he started his whole wine videos, and he was this sort of blue collar version of the wine world, right? And he would like sometimes cuss. I don't cuss, but he did it. And he would spill things while he was on the air, and he would bend down and he would just be himself. And he wasn't trying to edit or change anything about that, but he created a tribe. He attracted people that were like, wow, this guy's real. I could relate to him. Hey, this is a guy I could hang out and have dinner with. And oh, by the way, he knows a lot about wine too, but not the stereotypical wine expert that we're used to thinking of. And I think that's really, go back to really just knowing that every single one of us has something very special to offer, something that no one else can offer. And by being transparent and by being yourself, and even allowing the mistakes to happen, you know, leave some of those mistakes in your videos. Leave some of those snafus or whatever. People will laugh, they'll identify with you, and magic will happen from it.
Okay. First of all, and I'm starting to get a number of questions, and what I want to tell my viewers is Comment Tracker, for whatever reason, is not working well today. I tend to blame that on Google because it's certainly not my fault. It's nothing I did, okay?
I agree with you, John.
And Sheila Hensley, please don't slap my hand. Sheila taught me how to set up Comment Tracker one day. But one of the people out, and I started hearing pings, and that means people are asking questions. So I kind of minimized the screen while you were talking and looked at the event page. And one of our listeners out there said, how do you build trust between strangers on the internet to the point of collaboration? Wow, and I'm interested to know your answer too.
It starts with going into conversations without a huge agenda. I mean, we all have probably some agenda. Let's be honest, we all have some agenda. But how do you create that trust? Well, it depends on the way that you meet the person. If you're connecting with people and reaching out to people on Facebook or LinkedIn, you want to open it up in a, you know, I pray over it. Before I connect with someone, I put out a positive, creative visualization that I'm sending them love and I'm connecting it. I check out their profile if they're on Facebook. If they're on LinkedIn, I'm checking out their profile. I'm looking to see if there could be some commonalities, some areas where they might be stronger than me and I could gain from, and vice versa. So as I do that, then I reach out and I just say, hey, I checked out your profile. I'm very impressed with what you're up to and your background. And I don't know, I just got a good feeling about you. And I was wondering if you're open to connecting. And then it's about having a conversation. And we don't always know where those conversations are going to go. So just because you're reaching out to someone doesn't mean it's going to end up in a collaboration. But if you reach out to 3 to 5 new people a day on LinkedIn, Google+, Facebook, you are going to, over time, it might end up being 7 or 8 conversations online. You know, as soon as you can, take it offline. Because if you have everything online, something gets lost in the translation. So usually by the 2nd or 3rd connection with someone, I'm saying, hey, what's your best number? I'd love to chat with you on the phone. Just real straightforward.
I found that to be very true myself. It's I think, and for those of us who do this for a living, okay, I think, just my opinion, we have to get over the fact that it's not dirty to talk about money. Okay, the electric company doesn't really care. They're going to turn your lights off if you don't pay your bills. Okay. And I think a lot of, and I'm just going to share an experience I had with you. I was talking to somebody, very first meeting we had towards collaboration and working together. And the exchange went back and forth and flowed very freely till I asked the question, hey, could you tell me what you charge for your services? Okay. Because I was very interested. And the whole frame of reference, it became very, I got a 5-minute explanation of why they don't think they charged enough for their services.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I thought it was really interesting because up until the point in time we talked about money, it was real relaxed and there was a lot of synergy. Okay. Um, one of the things I looked at, and I told people when we started, I had to take notes on you because there's so much. One of the things I took off of your profile page is it says you wrote a corporate model to network marketing success and a strong cash flow. Okay. Could you talk about that for a minute?
Well, as you know, in any profession, it's always evolving, right? I mean, we all know that network marketing started out, very, back, 55, 60 years ago. And it was, it was really only people that were really super achievers that probably did well in network marketing in the early days. We didn't have any tools, there's no internet. And now that we have the internet and the advent of affiliate programs, we're able to show people how using affiliate programs, and the company that I'm aligned with does have very good upfront money. That was something that we fought hard for. I don't say we fought hard, that's probably not the right word. I was on the advisory board of that company, and I was able, along with many others, to say we need to put strong upfront bonuses for that brand new person who's just getting started so they can get into cash like immediately, as long as they're motivated, right? Using affiliate programs and affiliate programs for tools that you might be using, whether you're blogging, creating marketing funnels, maybe it's a training program that you've utilized that you've got a lot of value from. When it's true and it's valuable and it's something that you have personally used, it's a way to monetize your marketing. And monetize your marketing means to pay for your marketing so that you're not just putting money out. Because we all know the brand new entrepreneur has, a steep learning curve. It doesn't have to be, an unbelievable learning curve. Anyone can do it. It's actually easy. It's not complicated, but it isn't always easy because of our own mental thought process. That's what I'm trying to say there. But with the training and the video tools and the different affiliate programs, you can be, while you're just a beginner learning how to maybe utilize the internet to also grow your network marketing business or any other business for that matter, those affiliate programs not only provide you value, but they can provide the audience that you'll start garnering as you start blogging and doing videos on a regular basis and interacting on social platforms. I don't really think people need to start with paid marketing. I think that's something they should do down the line. I think at the beginning they should rely on more of the organic marketing, and there's a lot of little tricks you can do with video marketing, even on Facebook, working with groups that will help bring up your visibility, if you will, and some different strategies. But just really, that's what I'm talking about. Utilizing affiliate programs for your own business, sharing those with your growing client base or followers or tribe, monetizing your marketing, and then of course, identifying, if you decide to go with network marketing, identifying a company that you're passionate about and that has a business model that will pay you really well up front.
Okay. Got a couple more questions from that, but first I wanted to read another comment and then get your thoughts on it. It says, I recently heard of the holistic movement called the triple bottom line approach: people, planet, profit. As long as people includes taking care of oneself also, I'd say that's a nice way of putting it.
Yes, yes. This is the move that I'm also working on a funding project. It's sort of, I haven't even mentioned this to you, John. I'm working with a group of people and we're looking at funding sources for businesses, that especially environmental businesses, businesses that are green oriented. Mm-hmm. So our whole thing is we look at business plans and companies that have that, people, planet, the whole picture, and contributing back. I don't know of any company that I'm affiliated with or that I'm a follower of that isn't contributing back to their communities with part of their profits, and that the actual business itself is also there to make a sustainable legacy for the planet as a whole.
If you had to do some stuff over again, what would you do? What road? Not in your whole life.
Really, that's a lot.
Uh-huh.
What would I do over again in regarding to which part of my life?
The whole marketing, your business.
The whole marketing part. Yeah, I think we talked about that before in the green room, as you said.
Right.
Well, I've definitely spent money, and I've invested in myself and my business, tens of thousands of dollars. And was it worth it? Absolutely. Did I spend some money in areas that I wish I hadn't? One example, I won't name the company, by the way, but and it wasn't a lot of money, but it was just, I think it was like $3,000. We invested in sort of a put together for you system, autoresponders. Well, the landing pages are usually put together. You can customize those, but also an ebook. And we did that partly because we thought, look, we don't want to waste time having to sit down and write all this stuff. Because we're working with a group of people with this project. And anyway, to make a long story short, I realized that, they had some decent writers, but they were all from the Philippines. So there is a cultural thing there. I was to submit by Google Documents information on myself, and then they would write autoresponders from that. You know what? It just doesn't translate. Gary Vaynerchuk will say you have to put in, he's the gentleman that wrote the book Crush It and a whole bunch of other great books after that. And he's really one of the social media gurus, if you will. And one of the things he said, you got to put in the sweat equity. Write your own autoresponders. Even if they're not perfect, they're you. Write your own ebook. Do your own video series. Don't, you can learn from other people. But we spent too much money in that area, and it was we needed to spend more money probably in the area of the marketing because we were doing Facebook advertising. And if you do Facebook advertising correctly, it can be very, very, it's getting better all the time. But so that would be one. I mean, there was just lots of things. I mean, there were projects I got involved with where I thought I trusted some other people, and if I really paid attention to my intuition, I would have gone down that road. I think we've all done that on numerous occasions. So there's a lot of, you have to remember, it's not just about your money that you're spending on your business. It's about your time. I mean, you can't get that back. So wherever you're investing your energy, wherever you're focusing it, is going to determine the kind of results that you're getting. And so be really cognizant about where you choose to invest your time.
It seems that everybody's an entrepreneur today. Okay. I have a niece who has a degree in entrepreneurial management from Marquette University, and I'm still not quite sure how you can go to college to learn to be an entrepreneur. But who am I to say? Okay. I like to tell people that, when I got ready to go to college, there were like 3 or 4 degrees available. Okay. Today, there's 5,000. But if a younger person came to you and said, Faith, tell me 3 things that'll help make me a successful entrepreneur, what would those 3 things be?
Mentorship. Find the right mentor, or find a couple of good mentors, and depending on what their area of expertise is. Without a doubt, without mentorship, you're going to just keep falling off the horse until you're bruised. I would say then commit the time. Commit the time. Make a commitment, a 3-year commitment. Don't just go into this, and 6 months later says, well, it didn't work out the way I thought it would, and then quit. Consistency. And if I had to add a 4th one, I'd say relationships first. It's hard to, but mentorship, number 1. Put in the time, commit to the time, and consistency. Because literally, you can literally trip into success. You can make numerous mistakes. Main reason between those that succeed and those that fail are those that fail invariably gave up. Even if they still keep doing the actions, they may have given up in their hearts and their minds. never give up in your mind and your heart. That's the key. So those three things.
Okay. Let's talk about your coaching practice for a bit, okay? Because we've kind of talked about the whole SEO and online marketing and everything else. Tell me how you integrate your coaching practice into all this. Because when I looked at your webpage, I could spend all day there, okay? I mean, there's just an this and this, and actually, I have to introduce you to my guest from last week, Doreen Guma. And Doreen is the head of a foundation called Time to Play. It's a not-for-profit, and it's a womb to the tomb sort of thing. And she's in Manhattan. And when I look at her webpage, it's like, ooh, it's a Sunday afternoon, it's raining. Oh, your webpage is the same thing. And both of you do such an exceptional job of molding all that together. Talk to me about your coaching philosophy.
Well, my coaching philosophy, and I do probably specialize more in people that want to enter into the network marketing domain, because we can't be all things, all people, right? Even if we try. Certainly, I've coached people not inside network marketing, but mostly it's inside the network marketing world. So what I'm looking at, I'm asking lots of questions, right? And I'm looking at where they are, because, it doesn't matter what I know and what I can impart. It matters where they are, what their goals are, where their personal development process is, because I really think that you have to get the mind right, the heart and the mind connection, get that right before you can be effective in these other areas. You notice on my website, I talk a lot about self-love. Mm-hmm. So I really, really, like to identify how they feel about themselves, and are they open to really entering that conversation around self-love? Because the truth is, I don't care how many courses you take, how many systems you do, if you are not in love with yourself, if you don't have value for who you are as a person, it's going to be hard for you to be successful in these other areas. Now, that isn't something that happens overnight. It's not just like you're not taking a pill and all of a sudden you wake up and you're enlightened. This is going to be a journey, and I need to find out, again, asking a lot of questions. Where are they at now? What's their mindset? What are they attempting to accomplish? And sometimes it's scaling back. Sometimes you have to slow down to speed up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, perfectly.
Slow down. You said it. On one of our conversations, John, I just fell in love with you right away. I love how you said, is your wife going to be okay with that? No.
Yeah. No, what my wife's going to do when she watches the replay, she's going to roll her eyes. She's going to turn around.
She only knew.
Turn around and go, really? Okay.
Really? Really? The true John. Yes. John behind the curtain. Okay, so now I lost my track of where we were, but
dang, how you fell in love with me, that's what you were going to talk about. See, I remember that one, okay?
Oh my God. So where were we going with that, John?
You said we were talking one day on the phone.
Oh, you had said to me that one of your pieces of coaching advice, whether someone's wanting to release weight, they say lose weight. They always say, don't say lose weight. Because if you say lose weight, your subconscious mind's going to go, wait a minute, I don't want to lose anything. Immediately wants to hold on to it. So I always say release weight. But let's just say someone wants to release some weight. And I thought what you said was so powerful, because, we were talking about New Year's resolutions. I'm going to, how the New Year's resolutions can sound sometimes. I'm going to take over the world. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with grandiose visions, but sometimes it's scaling it back and making those incremental improvements, those small commitments, the things that are going to be easier for you to accomplish. Because sometimes I think our subconscious mind or our psyche will make a large goal, almost knowing that it's going to be, oh, that's too big, and then it's easy for you to get off the hook. But if you make small incremental goals, like, I'm going to walk 3 times a week, or walk every other day, or I'm going to just scale back on not eating dessert anymore, or I'm going to, just really hone in on making those small incremental improvements. I think the Japanese have a name for that, don't they? Isn't there a whole philosophy in Japan that is all about small incremental improvements?
I'm sure there is, but don't ask me to speak Japanese.
can't
I
remember what it's
barely
called.
speak English. Okay, so and have been told quite often I fracture that language too. So now, here's what I'm thinking while I'm listening to you talk, and it's fascinating to me. I will talk to people who will tell me, well, I'm a life coach and I'm a career coach and I'm certified as a life coach. And I will talk to people that tell me they're social media marketing coaches and really and I'm saying this myself too, we can be a snobby bunch at times, okay? we just kind of, well, I don't do that. But here's the interesting thing that I find in talking to coaches, regardless of their specialty. We all share the same philosophy, okay? You may be selling apples, I'm selling pineapples. It doesn't matter. We both come from the same font. The whole notion of what you mentioned about taking things incrementally and that sometimes you have to stop to start. I think in the 15 years I've been coaching, the one testimonial, and everyone else, especially if you're watching and you've given me testimonials, I love them. But the one that will always stand out to me was simply one sentence. And at the end of my coaching experience, I will always say to somebody, tell me what you're walking away with. Okay. It'll help me in the future. And I worked with a gentleman about 4 or 5 years ago, and he looked down at the ground and he looked up at me and he said, you caused me to look at myself.
Wow.
And I think regardless of what discipline we coach, if you can hit that sweet spot and you can work with someone, and I'm going back to what you said a little earlier in the show here about pick what you do and do it well. Everybody's not everybody. And there are some real stars here on Google Plus. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them, but there's some real stars here that do weekly shows and have huge audiences. And a lot of what I see is what you addressed right when we started, that people try to mimic them, or imitate them, okay? And they come across as being almost kind of like a cardboard cutout. Yeah. Well, not that. I think they're trying hard. I think they're trying real hard. Okay. I'm going to read you a statement. I already read you this in the green room, so you're ready for it.
Okay, real quick. I have to tell you the Japanese thing. Kaizen. Kaizen, yeah. Yeah,
and actually, Kaizen is Japanese, and it means to make better. And there are 5. See, viewers, you didn't realize you were going to get this. When you come to my show, we go everywhere. Okay. Kaizen is talking about removing muda, M-U-D-A, and its waste in 5 different areas. And don't worry, we're not getting into that. But I actually facilitated Kaizen in the early 90s in an industrial setting. And when I belonged to the American Society of Training and Development, they put out an issue every year where they kind of laugh at themselves, and they have definitions. Okay, and one of the definitions of Kaizen was, in Japanese, it really means silly Americans will believe anything. Okay?
Oh, that was very funny.
Yeah, because and the Kaizen system, you're right, but it's incremental things. You don't change the whole operation. You remove waste, and you look where value's added. Okay?
Exactly.
So, okay, I'm going to read you a statement, and this came from your profile. Realizing that so many business owners, online marketers, and network marketers are challenged with the high cost of marketing, knowing how to market, and the time it takes if you do it yourself led me to discover the most brilliant marketing system for driving relevant traffic to your websites, blogs, and landing pages. The engine of this system is the viral videos that often command millions of views each and every day. So how did you get there? How did you, where was the aha there?
You know what? You pulled that off my LinkedIn. That was a tool I was using that I'm actually not using right now, to be transparent about that. I forgot I still had that information up there. That was where people were using, it's a tool where you can use viral videos, videos that people love. Mm-hmm. And you can, it's something you purchase, it's a subscription thing, and it can potentially drive traffic to whether it's a landing page or a website or connect with you through a social platform. It's a very interesting concept, but I have mixed feelings about it now. So I'm just going to be really transparent about that. I honestly think, even though it had an automated aspect, I felt it was a little spammy in the automation aspect. I think anytime that you do anything that, I know everyone wants automation. Thank you for alerting me that that's still up there because I need to take that down. But anytime that you do automation, it has the risk of becoming spammy. Mm-hmm. You just have to invest the time. Even companies that hire social media managers, if they're not really intimately involved with your company and really get the vision of it and the mission, it's just, they may do all the right things, but is it going to really translate? Gary Vaynerchuk, well, he's got a multi-million-dollar enterprise, really a franchise. Not a franchise, but an enterprise, a brand. That's the word I'm looking for. He's got a multi-million-dollar brand now. He invested the time. I think you're better off creating your own videos, being consistent about creating those videos. There's ways that you can utilize those videos now. There's two philosophies of doing video marketing. There's putting videos up on your YouTube channel and then putting the link, like saying to Facebook. Facebook has changed some of their rules and some of their algorithms. So now, if you really want to get traction on Facebook specifically in this example, you would want to shoot your video and upload it directly to Facebook. There's certain advantages to doing that. And I think I've got a few videos that sort of talk about what those advantages are. And then you can also get your video into different germane groups that are germane to the topic of your video. And then is always having some kind of free offer. We all know that. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, that would lead to some kind of marketing funnel that would lead to a paid offer. Because, it's great to give a lot of stuff away for free. I mean, we all do it, right? Mm-hmm. My husband just got into really seriously into photography a few years ago. And in the beginning, he's giving all this stuff away for free because he's got to build his portfolio and build his brand. And now, he can command top dollar because his work is really extraordinary. But you do a certain amount of free stuff, and then you need to, monetize that in incremental steps. So like a $7, $29, $100 plus, $300. Those are usually the numbers you'll see out there for different packages. But in the beginning, it's consistency and it's being real. One lady, Jessica, who I love her Facebook marketing training, she was saying her best first video was the one that said, I don't know what I'm doing. I really could use your support in doing this video because I'm really nervous right now. And you know what? She had like 100 responses on that video. Yeah. Just because she was honest about her nervousness. So yeah, that tool that's alluding to, I have to pull that off because I'm not using it anymore. But if someone's curious about it, I can send them to the president of the company. They're using viral videos that can be set up on an automated basis to drive traffic to particular sites.
Okay. A few minutes ago when we were talking, you talked about blogging, okay? And you mentioned videos here, and a lot of the trend I listen to and I'm reading about is, I'm going to go back 5 years, and if you weren't writing a blog 2 or 3 times a week and building up a good subscription group, well, by gosh, you just weren't doing anything right. And now what I'm starting to see the transition, and I'd like your opinion on this, is video blogging. And people
Oh yeah.
are saying if you're not video blogging, then you're really lagging behind. And I'm going to tell you up front, this pains me because I write for 2 hours every day. Okay. I get up, I was up at 4 o'clock this morning writing. Okay. And so I enjoy video, but is this where we're going? Are we going to video blogging?
We are. Now, there's two different camps. Some people hate to watch videos because they don't want to wade through them. So you have to keep your videos between 2 to 3 minutes until you earn the person's respect, and you get into training videos that can be longer. But your marketing videos always need to be short. But video, I started out when I first started blogging, which was about 8 or 9 years ago, it was all written, okay? And then we started learning about the fact that Google values video more than the printed word, and it's going to put you higher in the search engines with video, especially if you do your keywords right. And there's certain things you can do to tweak those descriptions and keywords around those videos to get higher ranking. But video, just by virtue of being video, is going to get better ranking than something just written. And I was writing all the time, and for a while there, I was blogging every day. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had a 30-day blogging challenge. Everyone, let's all work together on Facebook. I had hundreds of people that we were all blogging every day. And oh my God, I mean, I love to write, but it was getting a little overwhelming. And most people just can't do that. Mm-hmm. So the neat thing about a vlog, which is a blog with video, is the fact that you can do them quickly. I mean, it's just like having a conversation. And don't script. I mean, there might be exceptions to that, where you need to just script it a little bit because you want to make sure you hit certain high points, especially if you want to do it quickly. But if you do some scripting, look at your scripts that are, practice, and then let it go. And then just be present and do your video knowing that you've learned enough of what you wanted to make sure you included in that video will come out in it. You're way better off because people are going to pick up scripted stuff right away. Again, it's one of those disconnects. But yeah, video's where it's at. I'm not saying print you shouldn't write, but I think that for my time, because I don't have a lot of time, doing a vlog where I just do videos, it's just so much quicker.
I agree with you 150%. I'm getting ready to do a collaboration with a colleague, and the interesting thing is I don't understand marketing. They don't understand sales. Okay, so we're almost a perfect match for one another. Okay,
yeah,
I'll sell all day. Okay, and one of the things in putting together the presentation, went back through some of my notes I've kept over the years, is to be real, be flexible, be authentic, especially in online marketing and online sales, because if people see you as being that produced person, then the only thing, we've changed. There's so many people that don't understand what relationship marketing is. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, listen, we are about out of time, and this whole hour's just flown by. And like I said, I could have you back for 6 or 7 more. What are you up to right now? Is there anything you want to talk to us about, where we can contact you? Anything you're doing that our audience would be interested in?
Well, I mean, if you want to check out, obviously, health and wellness is a big passion of mine, and it's really important for people to get balanced in their lives and to cleanse the toxins from their body. I mean, it's just a fact of life. The food quality in the world today is not what it should be because we've just, destroyed our soils. And so if you're interested in accessing a very affordable but very robust micronutrient superfoods that taste good and also help cellular cleansing, so that it takes some of the guesswork out of doing that, as well as providing you the highest grade food, if you will, to supplement your conventional foods so that you can really live your best life. That's something I'm very passionate about because it's an issue. When I got sick back in my early 30s, I was more of an exception. I'm not that exception anymore. It's way too, we see autoimmune, we see cancer, we see all these different issues. So if anyone's interested in just knowing more about that, You can reach out to me on Facebook. You know, I'm both on my business page, which is Faith Barnard, Holistic Entrepreneur, and or just my profile page under the same name, and also my blog, faithbarnard.com, and or just private message me on Facebook. That's good too.
Okay. And I'll post all that information in the event page later today. So if those of you out there looking want to come back, and those of you watching on YouTube later on, you'll be able to contact Faith. Thank you so much for taking time. I feel blessed and honored that you were here. And I think the best thing is I always look at these hangouts. Well, first of all, I enjoy doing them. Okay. The second thing is it's really a service to people that are watching. And I listened to you talking and just saw just so much stuff that this community and the people I know and talk to can really benefit from. So thank you so much, because I think you hit a home run here today.
Oh, now, thank you, John, for asking me. What an honor. What an honor. I'm so glad we connected on LinkedIn. Yay.
Yeah. And, you know, that was the other thing I was going to bring up before we went, is that, you know, folks, it's okay to cross platforms. Okay. I met you on LinkedIn. I met Doreen Guma on LinkedIn, and my guest, and we're moving the hangout to Monday night next week, folks. Lena Georgiev, I met on LinkedIn, and Lena asked me in one of the coaching groups, hey, would somebody review my webpage? And that's kind of how we connected with one another. She has an amazing story to tell about her journey and how she overcame a lot of obstacles, and now how she's working with women in the life coaching area to help them overcome some of those obstacles. She's a mid-30s single mom. I fell in love with her 5 minutes after talking to her. Just an absolutely amazing person. She's still working in the traditional workforce during the day. And just to show you that we can do whatever we want, she's an accountant, okay, who became a life coach, okay. I just think it's, so she's going to join us. I'm going to get the event page for that up probably tomorrow morning. And so thank you all for joining us. And I will see you guys Monday night. Any last words, Faith?
I just really appreciate you, John. You're doing good work in the world, and I'm excited to meet the people in your audience. You've got amazing people that follow you for a very good reason. Thank you, John.
You bet. And we'll talk to you all Monday night. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.